Hello, my darlings. It's Briar Harvey here to do another Notion walkthrough. Today, I'm going to be covering my health and wellness tracker. I wasn't quite ready to push this out, but circumstances have forced my hand. So here's the deal. I am not well. I have a variety of autoimmune problems, in particular rheumatoid arthritis, among other extra fun things. I am diagnosed with, are you ready? Bipolar 1, type 1, rapid cycling, generalized anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and did I mention generalized anxiety disorder? I can't remember. There's probably something else in there too. I think I have obsessive compulsive traits. I had postpartum psychosis after the birth of my first child. So, I don't know how else to put this. I'm a little crazy, y'all. And I have been for a very, very long time. I was diagnosed when I was 16. And I have spent decades managing, treating, figuring out what works for me, learning alternative therapies, dealing with pharmaceuticals, quitting pharmaceuticals, switching to marijuana. I run the gamut. And so I do a lot of tracking inside Notion because it's built out for this. I have not even gotten into the analytics yet, which I will likely be doing because the formulas and numbers kind of scare me and I'm not ready for that on my own yet. But what I've built out here for me is perfectly accessible and it's absolutely user-friendly today. So I've got a copy that's going to be available in the show notes, and I just want to walk you through basically what I do to track my mental health and wellness on a daily basis. This takes me, about 3 minutes. I do it at night in bed before I go to sleep. So this is my general tracker, and I have a lot of different 5-point scales, but this one in particular is overall happiness. I've used memes because they amuse me. And the whales, well, they wave at you on the screen as it goes. There's just absolutely everything is spectacular about it. So it's Wednesday early morning now, but this is Tuesday. This would have been St. Patrick's Day. This is my cycle date. This is my weekly calendar. This is my daily journal, which I will do in another episode. This one I have already mostly covered. Menu plan I have not yet linked. It is here. All right, so let's see. Today, I'm anxious. I'm let's be honest, who isn't right now, right? But I did have a productive day, and I did book a really amazing guest for this channel for June, and I am very excited about it. So, yeah, it's going to be great. I have not exercised yet, although when I am done recording here, I will be going up and spending 30 minutes stretching and watching mindless television. So I'll just go ahead and mark that down now. This is yesterday's sleep. So I went to bed fairly early last night. I got about 9 hours, which for me with my mental health is pretty much a good number. I consider 7 to be the absolute minimum for my personal sleep hygiene, but really 9 is more appropriate. I did not nap. I try not to, but let's face it, autoimmune disorders, so sometimes that happens. I group and take all of my vitamins together at once. I've not done that yet, and I'm not even checking it off here for you because I will forget. That has not been taken yet. These are very easily customizable for your own drugs. If you need a daily reminder for both managing the checklist or for taking medication, I don't actually recommend Notion. It's too difficult to maintain. I use reminders on my iPhone because it's easy to set up once, forget, and it's not, I don't have to sync it with anything. It's not the best, but it's a functional workaround. So that's what I use. I'd rather it be functional than something I have to mess with every single day. So these are my drugs and or supplements that I take on a daily basis. This is very specifically the routine I am cultivating right now. I will tell you that I track pretty basic stuff. I had a traumatic loss of my third child. Showers can be difficult for me when I am having a difficult time with depression. And let's be real, I may have to add this one in here fairly soon. It's been a few days. I will track how often I am showering, or I will track whether or not I am brushing my teeth. And you can see with checkboxes, that's easy to see on the just general spreadsheet layout of what you've done and what you haven't done. So we move into the next section, energy levels. I actually try and assess these, at least in my head, first thing in the morning. And I've used spoons here because spoons, 5's a good day, 4's a, normal day, to be honest. And it's how much I think that I can manage to accomplish with the energy that I have available. My effectiveness is star ratings. If I can meet my energy levels or exceed them, then I'm going to consider the day as one of accomplishment. If I had 2 spoons to start the day and I was 2 stars of effectiveness, then it's a good day. You have to learn how to give yourself some grace when you are dealing with mental health, and all of us are dealing with our mental health right now. Next up, we have happiness, and I'll just show you the 5, but these are actually page templates, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. Next up, we have pain levels, and I have borrowed and slightly modified Ali Brosh's pain scale here. If you are not familiar, that will be linked in the show notes. It's fucking brilliant. I would say that on an average early spring day like today, I'm floating around a 6 or a 7 most days. In the summer, I'm usually around 4, and that's autoimmune. This one is easily removable if this is not something you need to track. Depression levels, I have kept this pretty clean. All of my other emotional trackers are on a 0 to 4 scale. So 0 meaning I didn't have any symptoms. 1 is a light symptom day. 2 is a moderate symptom day. 3 is pretty major. 4 is something that in many cases for me would require hospitalization or major drugs. So these are things that obviously keeping very close track of. One of the other things that I have done here, though, is color code them. So as you'll see as we go through, most of the zeros I think are purple. Most of the ones are blue, but not all of them. Some of them will be green because it's not actually a blue kind of infraction. It's a green infraction on up to yellow, and in some cases orange and then red. It depends on the scale. I needed 2 different ways to sort this data set, so I used colors and numbers. So there's depression. Here is anxiety. Here is mania, which as bipolar, these are things that I am definitely wanting to keep track of. I feel a little naked and exposed, I have to tell you, as we get down into some of these. Obviously, if these are not things that you deal with, just remove the tick box. So here is irritability. I needed to have a good time with this one. Psychosis. I don't typically exhibit symptoms of psychosis, but because I have in the past, I always want to be aware of where I'm at. And then intrusive thoughts. This is something I deal with on a minor basis because I have some compulsive behaviors because of the bipolar. So these are things that I keep track of. You'll notice I've gone through, in some cases, it's therapy appointments. In some cases, it's psych appointments. In some cases, it's, do I need to be inpatient? Do I need to be under observation? Those are very, very real scenarios for me when things get bad. Knowing what I'm doing on any given day keeps me from getting bad. I've not had major attacks of any of these kinds of things for quite a few years now. So knowing what's coming, where I've been, all of that are things that I've been tracking, and I've used a variety of apps for a variety of years. There's nothing quite like Notion. So finally, I also keep track of my daily marijuana consumption. I live in a decrim state, not a legal state. If I was in a legal state, there would probably be an entirely another database. I'm kind of looking forward to playing with that one, to be honest. But until then, it's how much of whatever I had available. And then any notes. Usually I use this space to cross-link to any pages that I didn't already link to up here, notes or journal entries, possibly tarot readings. There are a number of things that go here. Finally, I have my page templates. And like I said, because I wanted to have a good time with these, it's pretty basic, but today was a pretty great day. So when I click Day of the Dolphin here, it will fill out that in my happiness scale. It will add the icon and it will add the cover image because that's what I want to be able to track at a glance when I go through things, both in my table and in my gallery views. Like I said, there's a lot of data here that could be parsed through more intensive tracking that I have not yet explored. But if that's your bag, baby, here's a place to go. So, like I said, I have made this template publicly available. It will be in my show notes. I've kept the drop downs and things as is. The only thing I've changed out were here for weekly journal menu plans. I just switched those over to notes. You can make them your own relations, assuming you have those kinds of interrelational things. And that is my health and wellness tracker. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you need help right now, I've got some other links in show notes for Suicide Watch, for interpersonal violence notes in a number of countries. I've been keeping track of these sorts of resources for my people and sharing them where I have them. So in addition to this, you can also subscribe to my newsletter. That's totally optional. You can get the page right now. But if you subscribe to my newsletter, I will also have links to a lot of this information as I collect it. And as you can tell, I'm kind of a magpie when it comes to this sort of thing. So follow my channel, subscribe to my newsletter, and you'll hear more of me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.